Luzon.
Good morning, Visayas.
And good morning, Mindanao. I am Maria Luisa Relator.
And I am Ivani Lucia.
And you are watching CNN News, the equalizer of justice,
The balancer of truth.
and the voice of youth. We're giving you the hottest and the freshest news updates in the world. In 20 minutes of an air, we're surely bringing you the trending topics in the world. Headlines on the go. Expose.
The LPM warns Iran greater threat than IS Islam.
Government spent 147 billion pesos for MRT3.
Mayon displaying new abnormal precursors Facebooks.
The Filipino goes international through music.
Phoenix signed up Morris twins.
For foreign news, Israeli PM warns Iran greater than IS militants. And for the details, here's Jackie Soriano.
Israeli PM warns Iran greater threat than IS militants. United Nations. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu warned Sunday at the United Nations that a nuclear-capable Iran would pose the gravest threat to the world for outstripping the jihadist terrors of Iraq and Syria. Make no mistake, ISIS must be defeated, Netanyahu told the UN General Assembly, referring to the Islamic State group. But to defeat ISIS and leave Iran as a threshold nuclear state power is to win the battle and lose the war. Netanyahu spoke a week after U.S. President Barack Obama took to the UN podium to appeal for international support for the U.S.-led coalition firing airstrikes to defeat the IS jihadis. The Prime Minister took a swipe of Iran's smooth-talking President Hassan Rouhani, accusing him of seeking a deal on Tehran. Hassan Rouhani accusing him nuclear program without scrapping and bomb-making capacity. The Islamic Republic is now trying to bamboozle its way to an agreement that will cement Iran's place as regional military nuclear power, he said. Allowing that to happen would pose the gravest threat to us all. A week long, the six powers are asking Iran to scale back uranium enrichment, which could be used to make a nuclear bomb. But Tehran has long denied that its atomic program would be used to build a weapon.
Thank you, Jack.
Back to you, Duan.
For local news, government spent 147 billion pesos for MRT3. For the details, here is our...
Thank you, Joanny. And for local news, government spent 147 billion for MRT. The government has already spent 147 billion for Metro Rail Transit 3, the breakdown prone mass rail line along EDSA. The amount of taxpayers' money that has been paid to the supposed private owners of MRT3 and other expenses incurred in connection with it come out during last week's plenary deliberations in the House of Representatives on the proposed 2.6 trillion national budget. Responding to the questions from Bayan Muna Representative Nery Colmenares, officials of the Department of Transportation and Communications, or DOTC, said 85 billion in rental payments has been turned over to the private owners. The private owners are led by the Sobrepeñas of Financially Troubled College Assurance Plan, or CAP, a pre-need industry pioneer that is under rehabilitation. Aside from 85 billion in rental payments, DOTC officials had informed Colmenares the government has paid 32 billion in the private owners' loans, which are state-guaranteed, and an additional 20 billion for their taxes. They said the private owners had initially stopped the government's purchase of an individual 48 train coaches by getting a trans-training order from Makati Court, which eventually allowed the procurement. Finance Secretary Cesar Purisima has said the 54 billion would be payment for all MRT3 owners, including Land Bank and DBP, He said a new valuation would be conducted before the time.
Thank you, Arceli.
Back to you, Luisa.
Mayon displaying new abnormal precursors, pivots. And for the details, here's
Thank you,
Clarence
Luisa.
Reyes. Clarence,
Live from Legazpi City, Mayon volcano continues to show abnormal signs of eruption that it did not display during previous eruptions. The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, PhilVol, said yesterday, for the first time, Mayon volcanic earthquake almost dropped to zero, but it remained under alert level 3. PhilVol's resident volcanologist Edna Guerra told the Star, in its latest bulletin, PhilVol reported only one volcanic quake and 3 rockfall events in the past 24 hours. Although the emitted sulfur dioxide remained high at 1,421 cubic meters, the previous eruption of Mayon in 1968, 1978, 1984, and the sudden pyroclastic flow in 1993 that it killed 77 farmers were explosive events at alert level 3, and they all proceeded to full-blown eruption at alert level 4. With only short repose periods in between some major eruption episodes, Maguerta said. In 1984, he said they had allowed the evacuees to return home after they did not detect any volcanic quake for 2 weeks following Mayon's first eruption phase. It happened because at that time, we did not have geodetic instrument that would tell whether the surface of the volcano is inflating or not. We also could immediately determine the degassing activities due to the absence of geochemical monitoring gadgets, Laguerta said. Thanks, Luisa. But now we are aware that Mayon is not yet showing signs of stability, and violent eruption is expected, he added. Meanwhile, at least 300 nurses have been deployed to monitor the health of some 15,000 evacuees housed at 40 evacuation centers in Albay. Dr. Nathaniel Rempilio, Albay Health Officer, said, some of the evacuees have contracted acute respiratory infection and other ailments such as diarrhea and skin wounds. Albay government, Joey Salceda, said they are considering the forced relocation of more than 2,800 families living within 6-kilometer permanent danger zone to cut costs all evacuation. Back to you, Joanne.
For entertainment news, the Filipino goes international through music. And for the details, here's
Thank you,
Arceli
Luisa.
Geronimo.
And for
Arceli?
entertainment news, the Filipino goes international through music. 20 years ago, the Taiwanese conductor came to the Philippines and stayed only for a day. But there was something about the country. Vincent told us that stuck in his mind that made him tell himself that he wanted to return another day. Perhaps it was in the song playing everywhere from the car radio, in restaurants and stores, from the kitchen next door while the cook was preparing lunch. The Filipino Adolfo is a much esteemed guitar maker and performer known both in his country and abroad. Born in Okinawa and of Filipino-Japanese parentage, he moved with his family to the Philippines where he was introduced to the guitar by one of his brothers. Chinese traditional instrument popular in Taiwan and called ruan. Vincent then asked Adolfo if he could make him a guitar ruan. Adolfo must have delivered the goods since at present there are already 40 ruans which Adolfo has made. Vincent wanted Adolfo to promote his ruan because he loved his traditional music. They combine Western with traditional music and make attract children. Adolfo is very happy with this development and hopeful that things will go well. They're also planning to do the same to promote the Kudyapi, the original Filipino guitar. Meantime, Vincent has drawn up plans for both Adolfo and himself. They have completed organizing a tour in Taiwan from December 21 to 24 and in July of 2015, activities for the concert orchestra. And that's all for entertainment news. Back to you, Joanne.
And for the sports news, Phoenix signs up Morris Twins, Celtics get turn here is
Thank you, Joannis. Phoenix signs up Morris Twins, Celtics get Turner. The Phoenix Suns signs forward Marcus Morris. Marcus Morris multi-year contract extensions Monday reportedly worth by $62 million for the twin brothers. Multiple media outlets reported that Marcus Morris will get a 4-year deal worth of $20 million. In Boston, veteran swingman Evan Turner officially became a member of the Celtics when he signed a 2-year deal with club worth about $6.7 million. Turner and Boston had agreed to terms in July. Turner average in Washington. The Wizards added 6 players to the training camp roster: guards Vanderblue, Xavier Silas, and David Stockton, forward Rascal Butler and Damian James, and center Daniel Orton. In Orlando, the Magic added 4 free agents players to their training camp roster: guard Seth Curry, Drew Crawford, and Peyton Siba, and forward Kadim Batts, and former Northwestern guard Drew Crawford. In Cleveland, the Cavaliers signed up guard Chris Crawford and forward Shane Edwards. Terms of the deals were not disclosed. Crawford averaged 8.7 points, 3.3 assists, and 3.5 rebounds in 140 career games for the University of Memphis. But however, in Atlanta, the Hawks signed guard forward Jarrell Eddy and center Dexter Pittman. Eddy played the last 4 seasons at Virginia Tech, and Pittman is a 4-year NBA veteran who appeared in 2 contests off the bench for the Hawks last season. And that's all for the sports news.
Thank you, Clara. Our 20 minutes of television news has ended. Until next time. Again, I'm Maria Luisa Relator.
And I am Giovanni Sinuska,
This is the Equalizer of Justice
the volunteer of truth.
and the Voice of Youth. CNN News.